Well, we get to talk now about another one of these interviews I did with a Trump supporter at Trump's South Carolina event. And this guy was a younger guy, looked kind of in my age range. And there's usually less people within the youngest generation at these types of events. So it always fascinates me to get a read on their political views. And perfectly nice conversation and everything, except he seemed very confused about a lot of stuff. And specifically, I asked him about the Trump document situation versus the Biden document situation. And this is what took place.
What's your response to the Biden classified documents scandal?
It's just hypocritical, man. The way they responded to Trump's and then not so much scandal to his on the media just really shows the power between the two parties. But I think this does play a lot better into Trump's favor because they've really quieted down more on his media side ever since that happened.
So I have heard a lot of the complaints from the right kind of being double standard. The DOJ's too aggressive with Trump, they rate him. But wouldn't you agree there's very different facts in the situation? Trump withholding the documents, whereas Biden gave them up immediately?
Yeah, it's just really just honestly a personal standpoint at that point. Kind of shows the kind of person that Trump is versus the kind of person that Biden is, to where Trump's going to stand for his word and what he believes is what's going to be his way, while Biden's just going to play towards the system, which he's basically bought into, and just kind of leaning towards that side of it.
But if it would be illegal to have those documents, then is it a positive to stick to his principles and keep them?
At that point, you're already guilty for what you're having. Like, I'm not going to deny that part of it. But yeah, at that point, I was like, all right, you're already going down for it. So, but Biden's like already bought into that system where he's going to listen to what everyone tells him. Trump is the kind of guy that he's going to stick to his own actions. So I feel like that kind of shows a little bit of a difference.
So the thought process there is because Trump, he's strong, he sticks to his guns. Whenever he was actively committing a crime, it was actually kind of just the type of guy that he is, sort of a positive that he would keep those documents because he's already guilty. Might as well stick to his principles. Interesting. I think one situation in which I want a president or a leader to listen, as he said, to what other people tell him to do. Just listen to what other people kind of boss him around. Is whenever it's the FBI. When the FBI comes a knocking, just listen to what they tell you to do. And I don't take that as a negative on Biden's part. But next question here that I asked him was, what does woke mean? Because I hear so often conservatives talk about woke, but it's hard to get a clear definition. And this is what he had to say.
How would you define woke? Generally.
Yeah, I'd say just caring about feelings more than speech. I feel like that's a good definition, a simplistic definition of woke, just to where like anything can be touched upon and it's not so much to where, yeah, pretty much.
Do you think Trump is a good fighter for freedom of speech?
Yeah, just like the one thing I will discredit for, he's not good at displaying it, but his purposes are there. To where like he has done everything for freedom of speech, but just some people just don't see it in that way.
And recently he was calling for the journalists who got leaked to out of the Supreme Court to be arrested.
Yeah.
That would fall anti-freedom of speech, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. But obviously not as an acting president right now. He's just kind of got to do what he can to just, because now he's officially running for the race again, so he's just got to kind of build up his culture again. But yeah, it'll work out in the long run. I think this is just a very short-term play.
Okay. Yeah. That's it. Thanks.
Yeah. So then you can see there, the person that he's there to support is actually against many of the values that this individual would purport to stand for, would be part of the reason he supports Trump in his mind. And that's the situation so many times when I do these interviews. I'll ask initially, what are some of the principles that lead you to having the conclusion that Trump's really good and you should be here to support him? And then a lot of those principles Trump has contradicted, but then there's not an awareness that that's happening, or at least there's not a choice to act based on that awareness in not supporting Trump anymore. And it's definitely fascinating. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be a part of what makes this show possible, plus get access to the full video version of the show hours before all the clips are uploaded to YouTube, plus get the full bonus show every single Saturday, you can do so by going to patreon.com/Luke Beasley. That's patreon.com/Luke Beasley. Link in the description.